Hey, good morning, my friends. MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa here. Thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. We have a lot to talk about today. My little tease there for you, a word of warning on weather forecasts. A lot of you have your favorite app. What does it use? What does it use to give you the 10-day forecast out there? Because I look at all models in their deterministic mode. That's the most likely mode, but not the best. I also look at all models in the ensemble mode, and a lot different scenario is showing up there, and I'll tell you what I mean. So long story short, what it means is that the deterministic modes show quite a bit of cold air pouring into our region 7 to 10 to 14 days out. So it's going to be a ways out there, but it might start to show up on your phone app and you say, look at it 10 days out. Wow, high of 19? And I'm not thinking it's going to be that cold because of the ensembles and the warm air that we have in the Pacific, warm off of the Pacific Northwest coast. So I'll show you all of that. And in the short term, we know that we do have record warmth on the way over the next couple of days. Could be your morning low temperature could be record warm, or your afternoon high temperature could be record warm. So what we're going to start with here, okay, is we're starting with the ensemble mode. I like this for the long term of the European model, which is a good model. It's going to go out 16 days. What you're looking at is the temperature anomaly at about 5,000 feet up. Let's see, nobody's saying that so someone's saying no sound, Debbie Porter. Must be on your end, because I think I would be hearing from a lot of folks. Okay, so right now we have extremely warm air in place. What this shows you is we're about aloft at 5,000 feet up. We're about 30 degrees warmer than normal, and that translates to nearly 30 degrees warmer than normal at the surface. Okay, so now we're into Thursday, and we're into Friday, and we're into Saturday, and this is where the disconnect is. Okay, so a lot of people have sound. Thank you. Sounds good. Okay, so we go into the weekend, and it cools aloft, and it cools some. And I'm going to show you some exact temperatures here in just a moment, but just bear with me here. Okay, so we're into early next week, and it's showing a slight cool down aloft. This is February 14th, Valentine's Day. Then we go into late next week and into the weekend, and it shows our temperatures aloft at 5,000 feet about 10 degrees colder than normal. Okay, normal at that point would be around 32, 33 degrees. So you take 10 degrees off of that, you're in the low to mid 20s. Okay, but that's at 5,000 feet. What I'm noticing is that no snow on the ground, no ice on the Great Lakes, warmer Great Lakes waters, mid to upper 30s, and warm, mild Pacific Ocean water off of the coast of Western Canada, off the coast of the Pacific Northwest. That's the kind of air that's going to feed in, and it's going to feed in the lower levels and not get us as cold as what you'd think. So we look at this and we go out, let's see, we go out, to February 18th, February 19th, 20th, and 22nd, and we go to cooler than normal, but nothing too extreme. Again, I wanted to emphasize with you that these are the normal long-term average high temperatures, about 30, 31, 32 right now, and over the next week or so, we go up a degree or two. So let's use that as a reference, because we have forgotten what is normal. So here we go. Temperatures today, probably about 50 in a lot of places. Okay. Let me see if I've got a good perspective for you here. I don't want to cut off folks in the South, or I hear about it, and I can't cut off the Keweenaw Peninsula, or I hear about it too. Michigan is a tough state to get everything in on a weather map. I've dealt with it for over 30 years. Hey, good morning, Catherine Estman and Amy Zettel. Thanks for watching. Justin Wheeler, good morning. Skippy Emmel, good morning to you. Okay, so about 50 today. Tomorrow in the 50s. I think 54, 55, 56 going to be a very popular number. Remember, normal high 31-ish. So we are 25 degrees above normal tomorrow, and that usually tends to get us close to record highs. Now, tomorrow's record highs are quite warm in the low 60s, so we may not have record afternoon high temperatures, but we will probably have record morning warmth, and Friday morning we will shatter the morning temperatures. So here's Friday, maybe 60, Ann Arbor, Monroe, Detroit area. On Friday, get a touch of sunshine and you could get 60 degrees. Otherwise, it's 50s in the southeast half, and then 40s, and then 30s. Look at Saturday. Woo! How cold! Right? Josh Crawfus, always trying to put words in my mouth. So you're saying winter's over? No, winter's not over. I do think we will have a couple of more snowstorms. But they're going to be marginal on cold air. So this is Saturday, 40s in the southeast still, Kalamazoo to Saginaw, south and east, 30s north and west, 32 back down to 32 in Traverse City, but Grand Rapids still warmer than normal. Sunday, mid to upper 30s in the south half. Monday, upper 30s. So that's, still almost 10 degrees warmer than normal. Tuesday, upper 30s. Wednesday, upper 30s to near 40s. So see, the cool down is going to take a while. We're a week out and we're still upper 30s to 40. Thursday the 15th. Now remember, this uses the deterministic mode of the European, which my point was, if your app pulls data right off of this, you'll see a high of 25 in Grand Rapids on February 16th. You'll say, wow, it's getting a lot colder. But the ensemble mode shows that it will not be that cold. All right, weather-wise, what's going to happen? We got some sunshine today. We've got sunshine tomorrow, a stiff southwesterly breeze. Clouds come in. We start to get showers tomorrow late and tomorrow evening. Not much in the way of shower activity. The cold front tries to come through on Friday and just puts the brakes on. That is another really abnormal part to this weather pattern. Is in February, a cold front barrels on through and it makes it into the deep south, sometimes even past Florida, heading toward Cuba. This one stops and washes out right over Michigan. Very bizarre for this time of the year. February 10th. Now this is the deterministic mode, so you'll see why the output of temperatures that I showed you has us turning a lot colder late, and I think that is overdone. I'm going to show that to you in just a second. So we're quiet. As far as any snowfall, we are quiet into next week. This is Monday. This is next Tuesday. This is next Wednesday. This, on the heels of the colder air, next Friday, it wants to develop a storm system. I would not trust that just yet, but you should know that why your apps are saying cold and snowy next Friday, and it will certainly be colder, a lot colder than the almost 60-degree reading we have over the next couple of days, but it will not be cold in comparison to what we typically get in mid-February. And here you can see the deterministic mode pours that cold air on into the eastern U.S. But let's now go back to the surface temperature, because that is where we live, correct? As last I checked, we live here at the ground, and that's what we want to know. So when I start with the forecast in the morning, I look at the mid-levels of the atmosphere, and it gives me just an overall good feel for what's happening in the weather pattern around the hemisphere, into our country, into our neck of the woods. I look at that. Then I look at about 5,000 feet up. That gives me a good feeling. And then I go down to the surface and I start to get into the details. So let's look at the European model, a good model. Let's look at the ensemble mode. That's the 30 to 50 different tweaks of that. Think of it as if you have, say, a bread recipe, okay? And you like this exact recipe, but someone's coming over that can't handle onions. So you take the onion powder out of it, or the garlic powder out of it, or you tweak it. So you've got this recipe, and there's a bunch of different tweaks to it. That's what the ensemble is all about. The European model or the US model, called the GFS, deterministic mode, the most likely mode, the one you run with all the time for the most part, but then tweak it a bunch of times and average them. So that's what we're going to look at now. And folks, you are getting the guts of meteorology here. You are not getting just some watered down TV version, look at the weekend sunshine, see you later, bye. You are getting the real stuff. I hope you realize that. So here's the European ensemble mode, surface temperature anomaly. So this is us here at the ground, and this is now and over the next couple of days, and obviously we're 20 degrees Celsius warmer than normal, which is 30 degrees Fahrenheit warmer than normal. And we're warmer than normal Friday, and we're warmer than normal Saturday, and we're warmer than normal Monday and Tuesday. I showed you that. Not as warm. We cool back down into the 30s to near 40. Hey, good morning, Herbert Gibson Jr. from Saginaw. Pete Van Alst, the comedian, the fun man in the house. Good morning to you. We enjoy your posts, my wife Lisa and I do, Pete. So this is next Thursday. Now remember, I showed you a loft and the deterministic mode showing cold air. Look at next Saturday. This says that at the surface in the Great Lakes and the Northern Plains, no snow, no Great Lakes ice, Great Lakes mild water, a kind of a stubborn warm layer, and so we would be a degree or two above normal. So that'd be 34, 35. Yeah, that's back to winter, but it's not paying for extreme warmth. Let's see, Ronald, not sure if everything, but why can daily forecast and hourly forecast and apps vary drastically? Do they pull from? Yes, and that was my word of warning, Ronald. That's a great question. You mainly use the Weather Channel app for reference. I don't know what they use. They more than likely use the GFS, the US model, deterministic mode, which could be very different from the ensemble and very different from the European. That's why I don't personally like apps, because you don't know where the data is coming from, okay? You know where it's coming from for me, because I tell you. So this is Wednesday, the 21st of February. This is 16 days out. Look at that. It still shows us as hanging on to slightly warmer than normal. Now, again, the normal high at that point, about 32, 33. So, you know, you're talking 30s. You're talking we're back to winter, but not something where the shoe is going to drop and we're going to plunge into frigid air. You know, I'll be honest. I'm part meteorologist, part psychologist, part knowing how to present this to you so that you get the right idea. And what I'm saying is, by late next week or next weekend, you better plan on highs of about 30 to 35. And if you see an app that says a high of 19, I would discount it right now. It's probably using the deterministic mode of probably the US model. So, point is, record warmth coming up the next couple of days. I do have one more point too. One more very important point that I want you to understand about me and my philosophy here is, but we have record warmth coming right on through Friday, early Saturday morning, 50s, maybe 60 degrees in spot. Then we ease back down over the week slowly to near normal. No snow in sight. And here's the thing that you should understand. Our environment in Michigan has adapted to be built on needing a winter. You know, if you don't like the snakes that they have in Ohio, Kentucky, and Tennessee, you like Michigan. Why? because we have cold winters. If you like a Honeycrisp apple from Michigan, you like a winter. Why? The fruit trees don't progress and get frosted early in the year in April and May. So my point is, we need to return to normal for probably about a month to get things slowed down and back down. We can all hope for spring, and let's just go to it, but there will be consequences to pay for that, as in plant diseases come in, from the south. Insects. Do you like spiders? Do you like the spiders they have in southern Illinois or southern Indiana? Okay, well then, root for a winter like that. If you don't, you want some return to normalcy. And certainly our fruit trees and our farmers, the fruit growers really suffer. If we continue 40s and 50s on into early March, then sure enough, the buds come out and we get a freeze easily sometime in April. So that's where I want you to know where I stand. I take whatever Mother Nature's going to give. If it's going to be record warmth, I'm going to get out there in the next few days and enjoy it just like you. If it's going to be record cold, I'm going to let you know, and it will come to an end. But it is what it is, and Mother Nature brings it to us. And fortunately, right now, we don't have any control on that, because if we tried to control it, it would turn into a real mess. So, hey, thanks for joining me. Thanks for letting me spout off a little bit for you. My warning was that we are going to cool down, but I don't think we're going to an Arctic deep freeze like you might expect because of what we have right now. So, hey, thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Bye.